I can't believe we're here, but we are here, Nebraska fans. We have breaking news. Quarterback Dylan Raiola has flipped his commitment from Georgia to Nebraska. Just moments ago, the news broke, and I got Sean Callahan here from HuskerOnline. We're going to break it all down, but Dylan Raiola, the number 3 ranked quarterback in the country, the number 17 best player overall, is now a Nebraska Cornhusker. So we're going to get into it, but first, Nebraska fans, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. It's an exciting time. This run to signing day is crazy. You got to be a part of it. Hit subscribe. Okay, let's talk to Sean Callahan from HuskerOnline. Dylan Raiola, as I said, the number 3 ranked quarterback in the country, Buford High School, committed to Georgia on May 15, flips his commitment to Nebraska. Sean, we kind of heard some buzzing going down right before it happened, but take me behind the scenes of this flip and how did it go down for Nebraska?
Yeah, something clearly happened about a week ago or so with Georgia where, things weren't right. And something went down. At that point, Nebraska all of a sudden got back into this discussion. And there's just no way anybody could have predicted this. I mean, Dylan Raiola left Phoenix, Arizona. The family moved to Buford High School and, about an hour or 45 minutes away from the campus of the University of Georgia to be closer to there. When Georgia won the national championship, Kirby Smart called Dylan Raiola from the locker room. I mean, he was that big of a priority. So to see this kind of turn right at the finish line with signing day, there's just no way anyone could have predicted this. But what a wild ride. And it's been that kind of ride really following Dylan Raiola the last 4 years.
So there's Nebraska fans that really don't tune into recruiting until the season ends. What does Dylan Raiola bring to the Nebraska roster?
Well, he's one of the highest ranked recruits ever to commit to Nebraska as a high school player, in the rankings era. And they've never gotten a quarterback of this caliber from the high school ranks, but he's a legacy. His father, Dominic Raiola, was the first recipient of the Remington Award trophy given to college football's best center. He's one of the best centers in his era of the NFL with the Detroit Lions, playing with Matthew Stafford. So, he's got great pedigree and he's been raised as a competitor. He was a baseball player and a football player. And, his arm strength, his arm talent is unbelievable. Just his lower body as well. When you watch him in the pocket, the way he's built, he's just got tools that you can't coach. And he's played for some very good programs now. Burleson down in Texas, Buford in Georgia, and then obviously his time at Chandler in Arizona. So he has been around and seen some very good high-level high school football and has developed as one of the top quarterbacks in the country.
And we know about the family connections, but what coach on staff was most responsible for this flip?
Well, his uncle. Donovan Raiola, is the offensive line coach at Nebraska. So just having him here, there's some advantages for Nebraska. Things like the dead period, they don't really apply. When you have an uncle on staff. The Raiolas could have come to Nebraska anytime they wanted to. They came during the dead period last year in February. They were at a basketball game. So there are a lot of things that Nebraska had working, and a lot of it was because of Donovan Raiola. And you go back to when Scott Frost first hired Donovan Raiola, a lot of people, their wheels were moving back then. They're like, wow, this could really help Nebraska's chances to get Dylan Raiola. Well, there was one coach retained by Matt Rule, Donovan Raiola. And even then, they're like, wow, Nebraska's still in the race with Donovan Raiola, or with Dylan Raiola, with Donovan still in Lincoln. And obviously, a new contract was issued this week to Donovan. He'll receive a $175,000 raise and make about $500,000 next season as the offensive line coach. So I think having his uncle here is such a key part to this as well. Because I'm not sure Nebraska would be in the fight like they are right now without that family connection.
So Raiola is going to be an early enrollee. He's going to be at spring ball. Is he going to be able to compete for a starting job when he steps on campus at Nebraska?
Yeah, that remains to be seen. There's no doubt he has the talent. I mean, it just kind of depends. It plays out with the other quarterbacks on the roster and kind of what he desires and what he wants. But he's the kind of guy that I think expects to be at least a 3-year starter wherever he goes and plays college football.
Put this in perspective. How big is this for Matt Rule in the Nebraska football program?
You think about a few months back when Nebraska was even in the conversation. I think for a lot of just casual recruiting people, are not around from Nebraska. It was kind of this pie in the sky. Like, why would Dylan Raiola go to Nebraska? Like, and you're like, okay, I get it. But the uncle and the family and this place is special to the Raiolas. It means so much to them when they're back here. I mean, Dylan Raiola, when he went to a basketball game in February, the entire arena, 15,000 people, gave him a standing ovation.
That was a great
night.
They
walked onto the court. And so there's just something about Nebraska with the Raiolas that even though they're not a top 10 program in college football or even a top 25 program at this moment, everybody knows what this place can be if it gets great. And so many people have tried to get it back to that. And now the Raiolas will have a shot at doing that here again. And you got a legacy guy who's got the best quarterback in America, and his son's going to be a Husker. So what a big time change of events, but a big win for Nebraska recruiting.
A huge win. And you're right. A lot of people didn't think that this was going to be possible. And hey, back in May and June, it really wasn't possible when he committed to Georgia, but it doesn't matter what happens in May and June. It matters what happens in crunch time. And Dylan Raiola has committed to Nebraska. Number 3 ranked quarterback in the country is now a Husker. Sean Callahan from HuskerOnline, thank you for stopping by with this big news to the Inside Scoop.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.